What's up, everybody? It's D's World. Got a reaction. I'm about to react. Max Kellerman. With him. It's like kind of short clips together with Stephen A. Smith. Because what was it, like a couple months ago? Max, he got fired, or basically fired or laid off from ESPN. Then you see the last couple weeks, you have, or maybe a month, you have freaking Stephen A. He's just talking heck of stuff like, oh, he's not a real journalist, he's not a real this and this. It's like, man, dude, you're like the most irritating person right there on ESPN. Like, I don't think nobody agree with you freaking 99%, man, because everything's always about racist, everything's about this and that, and it's just, oh my goodness. But that's why ESPN, who the hell watches ESPN like that? Like, people's right there on Netflix, not Netflix, when you have stuff on YouTube like this that have their sports is way better. All right, so let's go straight into it though, man. So let's see, because Max, he's not, I'll say he makes sense most of the time. Sometimes I disagree with them, but I don't think they shouldn't have put him down like that, man. Fired him and stuff like that, whatever it was. But let's go see what we're talking about now.
This is for Knicks fans. It's a glass half empty, but hold on, I think this is more like it. I'll just leave one little drop. See, there's a little drop on the bottom. It's a glass almost entirely empty. That's for you. And then also, I know the big free agent signing, I wanted to be the first one to get you a Julius Randle jersey.
Hey.
I hope you rock it. You rock it with pride.
Stephen A. Smith says
Rose Session.
Max Kellerman doesn't have credibility because he wasn't an athlete and he's not a journalist. We'll see about that.
Was he a real athlete though for him? I guess he played basketball in high school, but hey, I guess that's what's up. But
what are you talking about? The fact of the matter is, you walked into a game against the Utah Jazz. Hold on, Max. We let you speak, and you ain't the basketball guy, and we let you do most of the talking. Paul Malone and John Stockton was the offense. I just finished telling you, when it come to boxing, I lay off. Did I not? I did say that. In other words, what I'm saying.
Is that?
I understand that's your level of expertise. Every time you open your mouth about basketball, it's clear this ain't your expertise. You don't know what the hell you talking about.
Then how come I'm right so often in these debates?
Ooh, hey, let's go back with that. That was savage. How come I'm right in all these debates?
It's your expertise. You don't know what the hell you talking about.
Then how come I'm right so often in these debates?
And Paul Malone, the offense between those
savage
two,
for that
that's
one.
what their offense was predicated on. Isaiah Thomas had everybody. It wasn't about them offensively. It was Isaiah Thomas's offense. It was Stockton to Malone in Utah. Isaiah Thomas was surrounded by a bunch of defenders, hustle guys, rough riders, and what have you. He was the face.
Everybody always hates on John Stockton. Like, oh, we had Karl Malone, but come on, man. This dude, he's like the most assists all time, the most steals of all time. He was a great defender. This dude, shoot, man. I don't know why people always sleep on him all the time, man. Because I don't go like people on ESPN, like the players right here. You have Jay. Yeah, I know he played like 1.5 years because he had that car accident or whatever it was, bicycle, whatever it was for him, messed up his career. But Stephen A., he always just talk about, especially like John Stockton, all these people. But then you talk about the players, like you have Gary Payton, you have other places like that, like Hall of Fame people. Like, man, John Stockton is one of the greatest players, all around player. Like, man, shoot.
Of that franchise and the face of their offense. He was their number one option. There has never been a game, let alone a season, where John Stockton was the number one option. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It don't even make no sense.
You are giving the evidence. You are giving the evidence for Isaiah Thomas, which I subscribe to. Ultimately, I got him by a hair. He was also a Finals MVP, and they won 2 finals. However, you guys are.
It's not like, it's like freaking Isaiah Thomas is way greater than John Stockton, in my opinion. He is. You probably would say, on top of him more, but John Stockton is right next to it, man. You can't just say, oh, he's like this low. Come on, man. You had all those assists all times. You're great like that. I mean, yes, they say, oh, well, he had Malone. Like, well, look at he had a great was the shooter he had right there on his team with the bad boys, and he had one of the great defenders of all time. You have Rodman, and then you have the freaking center right there, Beer, whatever name is right there. Shoot, this dude right there, that dude is one of those 7 foot that can hit threes, and he just played dirty. So he had a good team, man. So you're trying to say, I would say the Bad Boy Pistons had more talent team than the Jazz right there. And let's be honest, like all around, I'm talking about all around. But yes, they had some good shooters on the side and stuff. They had a good defender. They had Russell and some stuff like that. But you're gonna say that team is better than that team? Stop it, man. You put John Stockton. He's actually, in my opinion, he's a better defender to me than, like, in the hair to me, than freaking Isaiah Thomas. Probably. I mean, I didn't really get to see him. I got John Stockton when I was young, but Isaiah Thomas, he was already done, when I was young. But hey, let's go. Let's keep going.
Like that Stockton's was like not in the conversation.
Yeah, he is. He's right next to it.
Stockton made 5 All-NBA first teams,
and he didn't.
Defensively, we're averaging 3 steals.
See, they're just haters, man.
He was shooting. By the way, Stockton could shoot the lights out. That's also just
I'm answering. Let me answer.
Nobody's taking away from how great John Stockton was defensively.
One of the elite steals players. One of the elite steals players in the NBA was Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson will be the first to tell you he couldn't guard anybody. He had to take chances stealing a
dude. I was just watching some other players right there. It was it's like some small forwards and power forwards. They said that John Stockton used to do like freaking screens, and this dude's like 6'1" or something like that. But he was strong. He said he used to do like some hard screens to other players, and Iverson didn't do that. He's on like 160 pounds, man. Shoot, and barely 6 foot. So come on, man. You guys are so disrespectful to John Stockton, man. I mean, Iverson is my favorite player of all time. I don't care what anybody say. I feel he's the pound for pound all time. If he was like 2 or 3 more inches, but John Stockton, come on. You guys always hating about this.
The perfect implication of what you do with your defensive prowess
is. But he also won 5 defensive first teams.
Yeah.
He was on
it's not like he's just the best.
But we didn't say he couldn't play defense.
Steals leader.
We didn't say he couldn't play defense. What we're saying is Isaiah Thomas was an elite defender as well. And by a mile, he was a better offensive player.
Even when they agree, Stephen A. Smith is so disrespectful to Max Kellerman.
Because
he
he's hella
Williams
he gets
on
loud.
This one. There's nothing wrong with Max's point. Stephen A. looked foolish on this debate. First, he tries discrediting John Stockton's assist by making an irrelevant point about Allen Iverson. John Stockton's team was not constructed the same as Allen Iverson's. And when Max brings up the 5-time All-Defense, Stephen A. changes the argument yet again. Both John Stockton and Isaiah Thomas deserve to be on the Dream Team. And pointing that out doesn't mean you don't know basketball.
I'm only speaking about recreational use of marijuana. I think it's abhorrent. I think it's ridiculous, and I don't support it at all in terms of the NBA legalizing it. I don't believe that a paying customer should take money out of their hard-earned money out of their pockets to patronize an NBA product, to walk to a game and see some dudes walking up courtside. I don't believe that. Hell no.
I mean, those people like in the 80s and 90s, man, they was all coked out and stuff, but they were still playing. But, let's go with marijuana. But I don't think people's not going to get high and play most of the time. I think people's going to do it after or something like that. Or people's playing football. This is like, it's all about pain. Because if you're feeling the pain, that stuff hurts, man. Your body is aching. What do you need? After you have workout or something, you just, you smoke one, have an edible, whatever. You just mellow. You're cool. Your body's like, your body feels better. Damn. So bad he don't understand.
If people can't be disciplined enough to refrain from it, that's their problem. I don't want to see that.
Hold on.
I don't
want to see it.
This is
People
not
don't care
about
about you.
Showing up to the game high. No one is saying the players should be high when they played.
That's not what I'm saying either.
Hey.
I'm saying they will.
Because
But they will. They'd have the right to.
Because there are examples of players who've shown up high, that's a reason to outlaw recreational use on someone's own time. It's absurd on its face. You can't show up high. But after the game, what you go off and do is your business, particularly a league that is in bed with companies that peddle alcoholic beverages. It is absurd, if that's the standard, that especially once marijuana is legalized, to set, if the bar is alcohol, marijuana passes that threshold, according to every study ever done. So the fact that David Stern,
studies. Hey, if the study though, if it's like good though, then what the heck, man? Like, why you hate study? Because you don't know nothing. What you know? You don't know about any sports to be. I know your best one is basketball, but Stephen A, man, this dude is just one of the most irritating people right there in sports to talk about it all the time. Ever since I was a little kid too, man.
Locker room? Have you been courtside and seen some of these dudes? I'm telling you right now, Max. Here's what I'm telling you. Well, whatever. If you can do it recreationally without any repercussions, they will show up to the game that way.
The prohibition against marijuana is based almost exclusively on a government propaganda campaign that was
stop
pure
it, you
lies.
with this nonsense. Government propaganda. I'm talking
right.
reality. I'm talking about dudes showing up to the game.
Look at that. Talking reality.
Look at that. Look at that. Got
We're going to take a quick break and get back to it.
Yeah, please. Why even bother listening?
Right now, Molly?
Prohibition. No, let's go to break. Let's go.
Hey, man, I bet you that time when T.O., when he said that, I be in the streets and, he said Max is more blacker than you. I remember he probably got mad about this stuff. I was like, ooh. He's like, any place, any time, we could talk about black. Like, come on, man.
Go to break. Go ahead.
This one's just embarrassing. I don't even know where to begin. Common sense will tell you that drugs and alcohol affect everyone differently. Kevin Durant said his best season, he was getting high before every game. The rule has never stopped players from using it. All it does is hand out unnecessary suspensions. The players barely play the way it is. Why would you want another reason for them to sit out games? If they are so high that they're visibly compromised, then they should be punished. Same thing with alcohol. But if there's no impact on their performance, then who cares? The fact that David Stern, as strict as he is, was telling them to get rid of the rule just shows how pointless it is.
Who's a more unstoppable?
Then you have right there, when he's saying that kind of way, you can't freaking drive right there all freaking be drunk, man. Hell no. I mean, you could play. I'll be honest. If you play when you're drunk, shit, you're going to be garbage probably. But if you high on weed, you could probably still play, man. To be honest, though, dude. I mean, if you smoke all the time, to be honest, people that play football, they do that right there for the body because they get hit all the time. Even like other sports that get hit all the time, or they have to do a lot of stuff and it helps the inking. So this dude don't know anything like this, man.
Forget about scoring, forget about natural, forget about who it's easy for. Who's a more unstoppable offensive player? It's a 5-on-5 game. LeBron James or Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durant.
Incorrect.
Kevin Durant.
LeBron James is a far more unstoppable
what are you watching?
Offensive player.
Far more unstoppable? That's a joke. That's a joke.
Offensive player.
Excuse me, I didn't stutter.
Not just shooting.
I didn't stutter.
Not just scoring.
You didn't ask me about a jab or a body shot. You asked me about a jump shot. You asked me about basketball.
No.
Let me tell you something right now. Kevin Durant is 6'11", who can pull up from 40.
Okay.
This brother is on that level. I'm talking about offensively. Now, Kevin, if you want to tell me that LeBron James, from a physical, he's big and he's unstoppable because he can get to the basket anytime he wants to. Kevin Durant,
6'11", and he can shoot from three.
You're asking me. You're acting like Kevin Durant ain't even in the conversation. LeBron doesn't have the offensive skills that Kevin Durant has.
Incorrect. Kevin Durant doesn't have the offensive skills LeBron has.
Oh my
You're
God.
taking offense to mean scoring.
That's a good debate, though.
Karl Malone was unstoppable going to the basket. What was he, about 260?
Right.
That's what LeBron is. But he passes like Magic Johnson, and he can shoot from outside.
It's ignorant.
Okay.
I'm not even talking to you about it no more.
Stephen A., to your...
I'm not even talking.
I mean, if you're talking about all around, shit, hell yeah, LeBron is better than Kevin Durant. That's like not even debate all around. Talking about scoring, it's close, man. It's really close. I say that. But if you're talking about for the team thing, you said 5 for 5. Easy. I'd rather have LeBron. And I'm not even a LeBron fan, but it's LeBron, man. It's not even close. Like, what did Kevin Durant made? He made, both of them made super teams and stuff, though. But before that, he was, oh no, let's keep going, my bad, because I can keep talking about the kind of stuff.
But for joining a super team, move on.
When it comes to one-on-one scoring or shooting, no one is denying that Kevin Durant is much better than LeBron James. But Max Kellerman said offensive player, and he's talking about the 5-on-5 game. LeBron averages way more assists while averaging the same amount of points for his career. No matter where KD has been, he's always had Hall of Fame teammates, whereas LeBron spent his first 7 years by himself in Cleveland. Yet LeBron still manages to win more. There's no question KD can take over a game, but when he's not scoring, he becomes a liability. We saw that against Boston in the playoffs and when he blew a 3-1 lead to the Warriors, the same team that LeBron beat. LeBron is also more efficient than KD because he takes higher percentage shots, getting to the basket and using his physical advantage. This really isn't a debate. All KD does better than LeBron is shoot and score. But when it's a team game, LeBron is much better. He puts up better numbers and he wins more. That's the end of the discussion. This last one really got Stephen A. up in arms. Max owns Stephen A. and he didn't even say anything.
I'm talking about the Mike Wilbons, the James Browns, and everybody in between. Black folks all over the country, all in the media. Everybody speaking up on behalf of Colin Kaepernick. But Colin Kaepernick, you the one person that don't have anything to say. You step aside while brothers and sisters who know that you were right, all of us are fighting on behalf of you. But you are the one that won't speak up for yourself.
It's transparency, Stephen A. And that's like I've done it. I've had incidents throughout the course of my career. And then there have been times where I've gone into interviews where I've done an hour and a half, 2 hours of an interview. And then they break down and they edit. And then you guys get on the show and there's a panel of people. And then they break down whatever clips that they show. They're not showing the entire.
I remember this. I watched this live, man. This is, 5, 6 years. Well, all the Kaepernick started. All right, this is hilarious. First time I watched this, I was laughing my. Oh man!
Or 2 hours of that interview that I've done. So what he wanted was transparency for people to see the full workout, to see the full Colin Kaepernick. Again, you mentioned obviously Max is going to get in here, and like I said, I'm in the streets. Max almost seems blacker than you, Stephen A. with what he's coming, with his commentary.
With all due respect, my brother.
I'm just saying, dog.
Wait a minute.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna check you right now.
Look, he mad. Look at him. And that's probably why he didn't like Max after that, because it was cool, and then after, because that was a little wild. It's like little by little, probably just hit him right there.
Time. Wait a minute.
I'm the real. I'm the real.
First of all, like I said,
brother,
you,
like stop it.
Colin Kaepernick, Eric Reed, any of y'all that want to debate me in front of black people and talk about what's best for black people, name the time and place, I'll show up. I don't want to hear, what's the definition of blackness? Is there a definitive definition of blackness? You ain't the only brother out there that's in the street.
You don't go on no streets, stop it.
When it comes to Stephen A. and Max, I've been seeing a lot of confusion in the comments.
That was hella funny.
No one is
first
saying
time
that
I watched
Stephen
that.
A. is wrong for trying something new on First Take. If Stephen A. felt like him and Max weren't a good pair, that's perfectly fine. But Stephen A. has gone too far. He questioned Max's credibility. He said he wasn't an athlete and he wasn't a journalist.
Yeah.
Why should we listen to him? He completely blamed Max Kellerman for the ratings on First Take. He's taken countless personal shots at Max, while Max Kellerman was only fair to Stephen A. You can even see from these clips, Stephen A. doesn't respect Max. Whenever he doesn't have a point, he personally attacks Max and questions his knowledge about sports. There's no reason to badmouth your former co-host after he gets fired from ESPN. And that's why sports fans have started to have a problem with Stephen A. Smith. But that's all I have for this video. Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, man. Hey, he was a hater, though. Hating with that right there. Max, I like Max more than Stephen A., man. Max is cool. I mean, he's solid to me. Sure, but every time you watch ESPN, like, who really watch ESPN all the time like it used to be? I think it's just freaking overrated now. And it's not more about sports, though. It's about some other stuff. It's sports, but about other things about it. It's like, dude, we want to talk about sports, man. Not just about your feelings about, look, I'm this and this and this. Like, stop it. And Stephen A., you probably didn't went to the streets right there your whole life. You could tell the way you talk. You put long words and stuff. You use like a big word like "you're ridiculous" or "come on, and being in the streets right like, dude, what the hell's about this, dude? What the hell you saying? Shoot, stop it. All right, man. Hit me in the comments, man. Like, subscribe, show love. Peace.